Today we're going to start on chapter 1 of the Ecce Romani textbook, but before we begin, I want you guys to pull out a sheet of paper, and you're going to write down 1 or 2 things that you know about Latin. And this can be as broad as you want or as specific. Just 1 or 2 things. It can even be a question or a comment, whatever you feel compelled to write down. And once you're finished, please pass them to the front. Should we write our names on these? If you want to. How much? About 20 more seconds for you guys to write down if you want. Thank you. And we'll go over these a little later, so we're done with the first part of this. So what you're looking at is just the first page of chapter 1, and I'm going to go ahead and read the passage here, and then I'll go over the vocab words and show you how to pronounce some of these more difficult words, right? 2 Roman girls. Ecce in pictura est et puella nomine Cornelia. Cornelia est puella Romana quae in Italia habitat. Etiam in pictura est in villa rustica ubi Cornelia estate habitat. Cornelia est laeta quod iam in villa habitat. Cornelia iam sub arbore sedet et legit. Etiam in pictura est altera puella nomine Flavia. Flavia est puella Romana quae in villa vicina habitat. Dum Cornelia legit, Flavia scribit. Laeta est Flavia, quod Cornelia iam in villa habitat. Alright, that was a lot of words coming at you guys, so let's go ahead and go over some of the vocab here. I will say the word, and then you guys go ahead and repeat after me, okay? Ecce.
Ecce.
Puella.
Puella.
Nomine.
Nomine.
Quae.
Quae.
Habitat.
Habitat.
Etiam.
Etiam.
Villa.
Villa.
Villa rustica.
Villa rustica.
Ubi.
Ubi.
Aestate.
Estate.
Laeta.
Laeta.
Quod.
Quod.
Iam.
Iam.
Sub arbore.
Sub arbore.
Sedet.
Sedet.
Et.
Et.
Legit.
Legit.
Altera.
Altera.
Vicinam.
Vicina.
Dum.
Dum.
Scribit.
Scribit.
Do any of you have a question about pronunciation with those words? No? Alright. So the reason why I read the text out loud is because we don't really speak Latin anymore, and it's important to hear Latin, to hear a language that you are learning to speak, write, and read. So today we are going to learn how to read through the text for comprehension. And we're going to do this in steps. Step 1 is just reading the Latin out loud. So we're going to all read the Latin out loud. You don't have to do it together, do it at your own pace. Say it under your breath if you like, but as long as you're reading it out loud. Practice pronunciation. If you need help, go ahead and raise your hand. All right? So go ahead.
Ecce. In pictura est puella nomine Cornelia. Cornelia est puella Romana quae Publi Cornelia estate habitat. Cornelia est laeta quod iam in villa habitat. Cornelia iam sub arbore sedet et legit. Etiam in pictura est altera puella nomine Flavia. Flavia est puella Romana quae in villa vicina habitat. Dum Cornelia legit, Flavia scribit. Laeta est Flavia quod Cornelia iam in villa habitat.
Alright, so in Latin, we basically use all of the English letters minus 2, and those would be J and W. Words that start with J, we use an I instead, and then the W sound does come in, and that would be the V's. So villa is pronounced with the W sound. Villa. Can you please repeat after me? Villa.
Villa.
Okay. Wikina.
Wikina.
There are no soft letters in Latin, so all your C's, G's are going to be that harder sound, the G or the K sound. There are also no silent letters, so we sound out every single letter. Alright, so we're going to move on to step 2, and that is grouping words together. So you will notice that in your reading you have eke, that's your first word, first sentence, but then you have in pictura. So it sounds like in pictura goes together, and then you have est, puella. It's broken up with that est. So you're going to group the words together in phrases that make sense to you. So I would go with the first sentence, in pictura est puella, nomine Cornelia. So definitely follow the commas, periods, follow those along in the language in your reading here, but group the words together this time when you read aloud. So we're going to read aloud one more time, but move on to step 2 with grouping. Okay, so go ahead. Yes.
So are you doing like groups of 2? Or do you just like, cause like I feel like how you did it was like in pictura was like together, and then you kind of like took a second, and then you said that one word by itself, and then you said the last word. So you kind of just have to like, some of them are gonna be groups of 2, but you kind of have to go with it naturally.
Yep.
Okay.
So like in the next sentence, you have Cornelia est puella Romana. So look for patterns as you're grouping. If you notice in puella Romana, they both have to end in eggs. That should, light bulb right there. Okay, these words look very similar with their endings. Maybe they go together. So start grouping with those patterns.
Okay. Pictura est puella, nomine Cornelia. Cornelia est puella Romana, quae in Italia habitat. Etiam in pictura est villa rustica, mihi Cornelia estate habitat. Cornelia est laeta quod iam in villa habitat. Cornelia iam sub arbore sedet et legit. Etiam in pictura est altera puella nomine Flavia. Flavia est puella Romana, quae in villa vicina habitat. Dum Cornelia legit, Flavia scribit. Laeta est Flavia, quod Cornelia iam in villa habitat.
You guys are doing really good. Pronunciation is awesome. So let's go ahead and move on to step 3. And you're gonna do this with a partner, and you're gonna keep reading out loud, and it's okay to screw up, because that's how we learn, right? So, go ahead and get with a partner.
I lost momentum halfway through. With the meat stick, not with this.
Okay, once you guys get
Oh,
into
maybe
your
with this too. Maybe both. Sorry.
Once you guys get into your groups, you're going to read each sentence one at a time. And you're going to group at the same time. So let's say you go ahead and read the first sentence.
Like just
okay, yeah.
Okay. I just said it.
Okay, and then you will read the second sentence.
In pectora est quia Domine Cornelia.
Yeah, and then you
Okay.
switch it back and forth.
Cornelia est quia Romana. Yeah, I'll start that.
Okay.
Cornelia est
In
quia
pectora
Romana.
quella
in
nomine
Italia
Cornelia.
habitat.
Cornelia est pectora est via rustica. Ubi Cornelia
Etiam in
habitat.
pectora est villa rustica, ubi Cornelia estate habitat. Cornelia habitat. Quodiam in villa habitat. Cornelia iam sub arbore sedet et leget. Etiam in pectora est altera nomine
Cornelia
Flavia est quella Romana cae in villa rustica. Cornelia
Etiam in pectora est altera puella nomine Flavia.
Flavia est
Cornelia iam in villa habitat.
in Villa Rustica habitat. Cornelia legit. Flavia scribit.
Laeta est Flavia. Quod Cornelia iam in villa habitat. How do you pronounce it?
Or do you want to switch
Is
it
it
up?
K or quai?
Or am I supposed to go through it?
Just once.
Oh,
Just once. If you're finished,
I don't know why I
then
thought I
look
was supposed to.
forward. Alright, so now we have just gone through steps 1 through 3, and we are learning to read Latin. And there are about 8 steps that I have broken down for reading Latin out loud, and just comprehending what we're reading. I'm sure you guys are very tired of reading this. You're tired of Cornelia, you're tired of Flavia, no? No? Okay. So, the next step is translating. And we're not there yet. It's not going to be an easy transition there. But I want you guys to take note of the vocabulary and see where it plugs in into the reading. First sentence, eke. What does that mean?
Look.
All right, so let's look at the picture here. What do you guys think is going on in the picture?
Claudia and Cornelia.
Flavia and Cornelia. What are Flavia and Cornelia doing? Writing and reading. Okay. What are they reading and writing on? Parchment. Hogwarts. Where are they sitting?
Under a tree.
Okay. So what's in the background here?
The rustic.
Villa Rustica. Yes. All right. So we have puella, puellae, because there's 2 of them. Puellae. That's our plural form of puella. We've got, they are sub arbore. They are sedet sub arbore. Sedet, sitting under the tree. They are near the Villa Rustica, which is over here. Okay. So we can't really tell which one's Flavia or which one's Cornelia, but I guess it doesn't really matter until we get into more translation. So